Well, today we are going to talk about the FX-991ES Plus Natural VPAM series. The Casio FX-991ES Plus has two modes of power. First is your solar panel, which is here, the small one, and it has even an internal battery. So if your internal battery fails, your solar panel will come into play. So basically this calculator comes in two sections. This is your first section and this is your second section. Now in the first section, this part here, this is basically like your normal calculator, and in the second section, which you can see here, this is where the scientific purpose of it comes into play. So you have your normal calculator, what you could do, your normal functions like plus, minus, multiplication, division, into, equal to. This will come in your first section and this will come into your second section. Your second section will be the specialized section for the scientific point of view. So this is your scientific calculator. Now coming back to the normal things. If you see the first section, it is just like your normal calculator. You have your 0 to 9 buttons. Okay, you have your multiplication, division, plus, minus, okay, decimal point, into 10 raised to the power of 9 or any value. You have your answer and you have equal to. Now the basic function. Now say we have a problem which is 8 into 3 divided by 5 into 3. Now we already know the value. The value is 1.6. So I should get 1.6 when I substitute this value in my calculator. So substituting the value, 8 into 3 divided by 5 into 3. Now this is what we would normally do, because you can input all the terms and it's quite a large display, so you can input how many values you want. So if I press equal to, I get 14.4, but the actual value is what? 1.6. Now why this comes? The reason to this is the calculator substitutes the terms which come first. That means when I input this value, the calculator will think it is 8 into 3, okay, then divide by 5, the whole term, into 3. So it takes first come, first serve. So actually this is the value, but the calculator will take the value as 8 into 3, which is first come, first serve. So it solved for this value, divide by 5. That means this whole term, divide by 5 into 3. So you get it as 8 into 3 divide by 5 into 3, which gives you the answer as 14.4. So now how can we write this whole term in just one expression to save time without this mistake coming into picture? So the most effective way would be to use your brackets. If you see in the second section, you have an open bracket and a closed bracket. So when I take the sum as 8 into 3 divided by 5 into 3, when I am writing it in my calc, I have to specify open bracket 8 into 3 divided by open bracket 5 into 3 and close bracket. So I have to use my open and close here, and I have to use my open and close here. So I'll open the bracket 8 into 3 close bracket divided by open bracket 5 into 3, and I get my value as 1.6. So this open bracket and close bracket plays a very crucial part in your substitution. So always remember, you can substitute it much effectively like this with the open and close bracket. You could even go for the conventional method, that is 8 into 3, and you get the value 24 divided by, then press AC again, and 5 into 3, and then say 15. So 24 divided by 15, then again 24 divided by 15, and you get 1.6. But this method is tedious. You could just get it in one step by using this methodology. The other aspect which I want to talk to you about is the replay button. Now see, to come back to the previous, your Casio calculator saves nearly 15 previous values, 15 plus previous values depending upon the size. Now if I want to see my previous value, I can go on this joystick like button which has top, down, left, right. Okay, so I can go on top and you see your previous substitutions are all here. So say you forgot your substitution what you did previously, you can get your full substitution what you have done along with the answer. So previously I had used open bracket 8 into 3 close bracket divided by 5 into 3, which I get 1.6, which is basically a much easier method. So I can even use the replay button to go on to my previous values. Another thing, if I press my AC button, okay, it comes to the defined screen, but if I press replay, I still have my values. But now if I press the on button, you can see if I press the replay button to check my previous values, they will not be there. So whatever previous values are there, they will all be deleted. So whatever previous substitutions are there, you will not be able to view them once you press the on button. So always press your AC button. So when you press your AC button, you will retain your previous substitution values at least from 15 plus terms. But if you press your on button, all those previous values will be lost. So special care should be taken when you're pressing your on and AC button. So always use your AC button. Say you want to delete those terms or you don't want anybody to check those terms back again, then you can press your on button, all the previous values or substitutions will be deleted. Another thing of this calculator is, now say I type the value 8 into 3 divided by, as I told you, I have to use the brackets. So open bracket 5 into 3 close bracket equals to 1.6. Now say instead of 3 here I wanted 4. It's not needed that you have to press the AC button again and again type the terms. You could just go to the previous value which is here and say you want to change this 3 to 4, you can use the replay button. Now replay button, as I told you, the top and down is used to see the previous terms, but the side buttons, that is your left and right, can be used to change your values. So say I want to change this 3 to 4, I can just go here using my replay left and right, I can press delete and change it to 4 or 45 or whatever value. So I can just directly change the value here and press equal to, which makes it very simple. Now 8 into 4 divided by 5 into 3 is a simple value, but say it's a very complex equation which has multiple terms in it. So that's the time this comes in very handy. If you have written the whole term and you just want to change one value because only that one value is wrong, this replay button comes very handy. So this whole thing is known as your replay button, which is just like your joystick, which has left and right and which has up and down. So you can use this replay button and adjust your substitution values. So this replay button holds a very nice way of replacing your values. Now again we'll press AC. As you see the delete button, we even saw the function of it. So if I have 85 into 6 into 3, I can basically go to any value, press the delete button and change the value to whatever I want and press equal to. So the delete button comes very handy, but I have to use it in coordination with the replay button. Another function which you see in the first section, okay, would be the decimal point. Now if you have 2 into 5 divided by 3, so I can put my decimal point. Now you will see that there is into 10 raised to the power of x. This is for terms say I have a term 2 into 10 raised to the power of minus 3 divided by 5 into 2. Always remember, it is safe always to use your brackets. So if you have any multiplication term or division term, just use your brackets. It's not going to cost you much. Anyways, the calculator is quite advanced. It will give you your answers in the speed of light. So you don't have to worry. So say I have this term. I'll open my bracket. 2 into 10 raised to the power of minus 3. You can see this into 10 raised to the power of x. X will be the unknown variable which we have to enter. So into 10 is already given. So I can just directly press this. I'll input that value minus 3. Now I can use this minus 3 or I could use this minus 3 which is here in the second section. This is basically also correct and it gives you a better understanding. You see the size of this minus and this minus. Okay, the size of this minus is smaller, the size of this minus is bigger. This minus basically helps to tell you that the value here is in the superscript. So whenever you see this minus, it will directly give you a hint that it is a superscript value. But otherwise you could even use this minus, it's not a big issue. Again, close bracket divided by open bracket 5 into 2 close bracket, and this is your value. So you could use this 10 raised to the power of minus 3 or minus 4 or minus 5 or 10 raised to the power of 6 for whatever calculations you require. So now say it is 2 into 10 raised to the power of 5 into 3 into 10 raised to the power of minus 7. So again, how to input it? I have bracket 2 into I have bracket 2 into 10. I don't require the into sign because it already includes it. 5 open bracket into 3 into 10 raised to the power of, I can just directly use this, minus 7 close bracket, and I get the value as 0.06. So in this way I can find out my values. I can even go back to the previous using the replay buttons as I told you. So my first equation, it is 2 into 10 raised to the power of minus 4. So you see, I don't lose my values, but if I press the on button, my values will be lost. Another important function of this is, now say I got this answer, I press equal to, I got the answer as 0.06. Now say if I want to substitute this value of 0.06, what I achieved last, into 102. So I want 0.06 into 102. So it's not required that I have to input 0.06 into 102. I can just use the last answer. This answer button is basically the last answer. If I press answer and I press equal to, the last answer which it had substituted comes, that is 0.06. So what I could do is I could just press answer, which would include this last substituted value, into 102. So I can get the value directly as 6.12. Let's recheck that in the manual way. 0.06 into 102. As you see, it is 6.12, which is the same answer what I got here. So whenever it takes the last substituted value. Now you see, if you press AC and you press answer and you press equal to, it will give you 6.12. It will not give you this value because it takes the last substituted value, which is 6.12. So this answer will always be the answer that you got in your last substitution. Okay, so this is the basic functions of your calculator, that is your section 1. Now you have a section 2. Now in your section 2 you have x raised to the power of 2, x raised to the power of 3 if you see your gold terms. Then you have x raised to the power of whichever value. Then you have log, you have in, you have 10 raised to the power of whichever value. Now if you can notice, there is x raised to the power of 2 here, and there is x raised to the power of 3 which is in gold. So there are two buttons which is basically highlighted in gold. If you could see, it's highlighted in gold and it is highlighted in red. So you have these two things. So gold is represented as shift and red is represented as alpha. So you have shift and you have alpha. It is just like your normal keyboard. Say if you want to type the letter A in capital, you would use shift and A, or I could even use caps lock, but I can use shift, so I have to press shift and A. So that will give you in capital. And if I want to just use in normal alphabets, small letter alphabets, I can just directly type A. So this shift and alpha basically act like those keys which change the value of that button. So now now we have x square and we have here x cube, if you could see. So x basically represents any value. Say if I want 5 square, I want the value of 5 square. So what I have to do is I have to type 5 and then I have to press square, which is equals to 25. So this is how I get the value. So this x will represent the variable value I want to find out. So now say if I want to find out the value of 5 raised to the power of 2 or 5 square. So I have to just press 5 into this value, which will give me 25. Now say if I want to find out the value of 5 cube, it will be 5 shift. Now when you press the shift key, you notice your S comes. If you press your alpha, your A comes. So now I'll press the shift, which will basically target all the gold terms in my calculator. So now you see what? X into 3. So I press this. So it will be what? 5 cube or 5 raised to the power of 3, which is equals to 125. So this is how I can find out between square and cube. So if I can find out any value raised to the power of 2, and I could even find out any value raised to the power of 3 in this fashion. So this is for my square and this is for my cube. But now you will say, obviously values are not restricted only to 5 square or 5 cube. Okay, they can even be values raised to whatever value, that is x. So for that we have another button here. So now say if the term is 105 raised to the power of 18. So if it is 105 raised to the power of 18, I press 105 first. So 105 raised to the power of 18. So what will be the value of this? So 105 raised to the power of 18. So I press 105 and then I press this button right here. Okay. Now which says that 105 raised to the power of 18 and close the bracket. So this is 105. This arrow button here basically indicates raised to the power of 18, or it indicates the superscript. So 105 raised to the power of 18 will give me 2.4, since it is 6, so 2.41 into 10 raised to the power of 36. So this is the value I have achieved. So it means 2.41 into 10 raised to the power of 36. Never forget to include this 10 raised to the power of 36. Okay, you will get your value into this term. So always remember to take this term into consideration as well. So always look out for your last term. If it comes 10 raised to the power of 36, then obviously you have to even include this, because this holds the major difference in your answer. So always remember to write it down. Now pressing AC again. The other thing what we have to see is the log. Now when you come in the studies or engineering studies point of view, we don't need a log table because the scientific calculator already provides us that option. Say you want to find out the value of log 18. So I just have to press. So now say you want to find out the value of log 18. So if you want to find out the value of log 18, you just have to press the log value, press 18 and close the bracket. So you get the value as 1.255, which is equals to 1.256. So this is basically the value of your log 18. Now if you noticed how you press it, you press log, the open bracket directly comes up and you press 18. Now I'm not closing the bracket, I'm pressing equal to. I'll get the same value. There's no problem with this. But if now say the value was log 18 plus log 6. So I want to basically differentiate between these two terms. So for that reason the bracket comes into play. So now if I have this value, I'll just go to my replay. I close the value, I close the bracket, plus log 6 and close bracket. So it's always good to close your bracket. So if you have a bigger term, it can be substituted properly. So if this bracket wasn't there, okay, then you would get a different value, which is basically wrong. So as I told you, brackets play a key role. So always don't mind to put that extra bracket into account. It may just waste 2 seconds of your time, but it will give you a correct answer and you will never go wrong. So always include your brackets. So this is how you can find out your log values as well. Now say you have root 2. You want to find out the value of root 2. So what I have to do, I have to press this root sign here and I have to input the value. As you see, open bracket. So always close your bracket. So how much you get? 1.414. Now this is for root 2. Now say it is root 5, and again root 5. Whatever value it is, you can push in and close bracket. So this is how you can get your root values. Now this is for square root. Now say you want a cube root value. Then what you can do is press shift and aim for the gold key, which is here. I hope you can see it. Okay, so the gold key will include this cube root. So I press the cube root sign. So say cube root of 2 and close bracket. I can get my cube root value as well. So if I want cube root of 2, the value is 1.26. So this is another function. Now this is for square root and this is for cube root. But now say I want of any value here. So this could be any x value and any x value here as well. Because obviously in engineering we are not just restricted to square root and we are not restricted to cube root. We can even have 4 root or we can have 5 root. So say it is 5 root and the value is 25. Now how you will input this? Now if you check here, there is another function near x raised to the power of anything. you could see here you have a root sign which basically gives you any value, if you can see, which is basically highlighted in gold. So I press this shift button, I press this here, you can see it is X root, and you have to input your value. So any root will do. So now say you have an example here, 5 root of 25. So I have to first input 5, shift, put that button. So this X will be the 5 value, which is my 5 root, and now 25 and close bracket. So I get how much? I get 1.904. So this is how I can get 5 root of 25. So what I have to do is just press this button. Now I will just cross check whether whatever I have done is correct. So what I could do is I could take the cube root value and put it in this same way. So if I have cube root of 2, I should get 1.26. So I'll use this same button here. So what I have, cube root of 2. So I'm pressing 3, shift this button here for any value. So now the 3 basically represents my cube root. Root of 2 close bracket. I get is 1.26. Basically decimal point shifted. So 1.26, which is the same value as I got when I typed directly the cube root of 2. So I'm getting the same value. So this is also okay, but if you have cube root, I feel this is much more easier, where you can get your answer easily. But both the ways is possible, but this is like a universal way where you can input any value. So this is how to substitute the value of cube roots, square roots, and any root values. Then you have your sine, cos, and tan. So say if I have sine 50, I have to press sine 50 close bracket. So I'll get the value of sine. I can even do sine into cos 60. So if I have sine, I can just go to replay into cos 50. Okay, and as usual, I did not use the bracket sign, so kindly use the bracket sign, although it doesn't make the difference here, but still. So sine 50 into cos 50 will give you 0.49. So this is how we got this value, 0.4924. So it becomes very simple. So even if I have division, sine 50 divided by cos 50, I could get it done very easily. So this is how you can even use your trigonometry values. You have sine, cos, and tan. So I could use my trigonometric functions as well. Now there is one more button here known as ST. So say if I have a value 5 into 6, how much I get? 0.83. If I press the ST value, I get 5 by 6. This ST value basically converts your fraction to decimal and decimal to fraction. So now if I say the value is 0.83 for 5 divided by 6, if I want to know my fraction value, it is obviously 5 divided by 6. So when you see this sign here, it basically means 5 divided by 6. So I can get into the fractional point of view easily by just pressing this S to D conversion or D to S conversion. So say if it's a complex term, 5 into 3 divided by 52 into 6, a complex value, it will be 0.04. But if I want to know the fractional term, I'll just press this button and I get 5 divided by 104, which makes it very easy if I want to know the fractional value. So it will be 5 divided by 104, which is the same as 0.048. So it will give you the same answer, 5 divided by 104. Even if you see 5 divided by 104, you'll get the same answer, which matches with this answer. See, again I'm using my replay button to go to the previous terms. So this is what I had got, 0.048. Again 5 divided by 104, 0.048, again ST. So 5 divided by 104. So this button also holds key importance. We covered the basic functionality of this calculator. Now there are other functionalities as well, which will be told in the next episode, which will be taken up into two separate episodes, that is advanced mode 1 and advanced mode 2. So thanks for watching and stay tuned to the next video of advanced mode 1 of FX991ES Plus.